Good day, everyone. So today we want to look at what we need to know to pass PMP exam. PMP exam is an exam that is being done by PMI, which is Project Management Institute in the United States of America. And we want to look at the requirements, the fees, the course content, preparation, material, and all the information you have to have at your disposal to be able to be successful at the exam. All right. So, as the world leading authority on project management, PMI created PMP Certification to recognize project managers who have proven they have the skills to successfully manage projects. Project Management Professional Certification represents an elite group of project managers. It provides project leadership experience and expertise in any way of working. To obtain the PMP exam certification, a project manager must meet certain requirements and then pass a 180 question exam. The PMP exam was created by project leaders for project leaders, so each test question can be related to real-life project management experiences. So for you to pass an exam, you need to meet some requirements, and then we have about 180 questions for 230 minutes, close to almost 4 hours. All right. Out of these 180 questions, I think you will be scored actually on 175 questions. 5 of those questions you will not be scored on them. Actually, nobody particularly knows the pass mark. But the grading is done in time past is around 60-something%, then it moved to 80%, and people say if you are able to pass, if you are able to do 70%, you are good to go. But the grading comes in 4 grades. You have above target, you have target, you have below target, and the last one is you did not meet the requirement at all. So it's based on 3 areas. You will be tested on the area of people, the area of process, and the area of business environment. In terms of people, you need to recognizing that you have the skills to effectively lead and motivate a project team throughout a project. In terms of process, they will test your ability about predictive, agile, and hybrid approaches to determine which way of working is best for each project. And in terms of business environment, you will enlighten the success of a project and its impact on overall strategic business goals and organization goals. All right. So for the eligibility for certification is that we have 2 routes. If you have a degree and you do not have a degree, if you have a degree, you need to have minimum of 3 years, that's 36 months, project management experience. And if you do not have a degree, 5 years is what is required. Then you should have been leading projects for 4,500 hours if you have a degree, and if you do not have 7,500 hours, then it is expected that you should have minimum of 35 hours of project management education, which is being called PDU. Project management education project. So 35 hours, you will, when you want to do the exam, you will fill a form submitting the documents you have based on all these requirements, and you will be informed whether you are qualified to take the exam. In terms of the fees, the fee for the exam is actually for PMI members is $405. If you are not a PMI member, you pay $555. If you happen to fail the exam and you want to retake it again as a member, you pay $275, and if you are not a member, you pay $375. It is the best route as right people is you make sure you register as a member before you now pay for the exam, which saves you some amount of money. To register as a member, you pay $129 plus $10, that's $139. So when you do that, the advantage is it's also cheaper with this difference of this is 150, this is 150 here. There's a difference of 150 here. You pay 139, you save $11. And if you happen to retake the exam, you pay $100 less. So the exam reference for project PMP exam, the curriculum changes every 3 years. The last one was in 2021, which we run 2021, 2022, and 2023. So by 2024 again, something new will be expected. So basically we have the project management book of knowledge guide, 6th edition, project management book of knowledge guide, 7th edition, and we have the agile practice guide. These are the 3 major reference material that is being used for a project management exam, right? Now, the 6th, and people have always asked what is the difference between the 6th edition and the 7th edition of project management book of knowledge. Okay, in the 6th edition is based on the 10 knowledge areas and the 5 process groups, whereas what happens under 7th edition is the fact that some processes have been grouped together in domains, 3 domains, which we look at very briefly. So in your exam, you'll be tested both on 6th and on 7th. 7th is not a total replacement for 6th. No. They just have some grouping which you see also need to understand. So in terms of the exam, people will be tested on your people skill 42%, on your process skills 50%, that is basically half, and on business environment 8%, making a total of 100% for the 180 questions. All right, talking about the domains. All right, one thing about project management PMP exam is the fact that you will be tested on scenario questions. Questions like this and this happened. As the project manager, what should you do first? What should you do next? What is the right procedure to do this? Those are the 90% of the question comes in that way. And for 230 hours, you will be busy handling that 180 questions. All right. So the domains, we have 3 domains: domain 1, domain 2, and domain 3. Domain 1 is the people skills that you have, how to manage conflict, how to lead a team, how to support team performance, how to empower team members and stakeholders, ensure team members, stakeholders are adequately trained. You need to build a team. These are some of the things that are processes that have been grouped, selected from the 49 processes we have in project management, 6th edition. They have been grouped together. All right. So how to build a team, how to address and remove impediment, obstacles, and blockers, which is one of the major functions of a project manager, to remove obstacles, anything that can impede, anything that can make the project not to move forward. Then how to negotiate project agreements, how to collaborate with stakeholders. You need to build shared understanding, engage and support virtual teams, define team ground rules, all right, and also mentor relevant stakeholders and promote team performance through application of emotional intelligence. Then the domain 2, which is the process, you need to know how to execute projects with the urgency required to deliver business value, how to manage communications, how to assess and manage risk, which is something that is very important that you should know, you should plan for, and you should implement risk responses whenever those risks and issues shows up on your program, on your project. Then you need to engage your stakeholders. You need to know the power, interest, greed, their influence, their impact. You need to know how to when to monitor them, when to get them informed, when to monitor them closely, when to give them the necessary information that they need. And of course, you need to plan and manage your budget and resources. So the work of a project manager is an encompassing work, and the work is the work of integration. So you need to be vast in people, you need to be vast in process, and you need to be vast in business environment. You have to have an understanding of the global picture of where you work, their mission statement, vision, their strategies, and the likes. And you need to manage and of course plan your schedule. You need to be on top of your schedule so that you need to be able to carry out hand value analysis on your cost, on a lot of information that can be generated that will enable you to take judicious decisions to bring your project back on track when they are not to cost and when they are not to schedule. You need to plan and manage quality of your products, and you need to plan and manage your scope. You integrate your planning project. You need to manage changes, whether it's agile, whether it's traditional projects or predictive projects. You need to be able to manage change, and of course plan and manage your procurement. You should be able to manage project artifacts, the requirements, what, when, where, who, right? Validator to validate the information. You need to know how to determine appropriate project methodologies and practices. In 49 processes, we have a lot of tools, we have a lot of techniques. You need to know the input to a particular process and the output that that process is going to give you. You need to establish and understand project governance structure. All right, you need to know how to manage project issues as they come up. When risks come up during a project, it becomes an issue, and you need to know how to implement already planned strategies to ensure that issues are either mitigated, they are avoided, they are transferred, as the case may be. Ensure knowledge transfer for project continuity. There should be a proper documentation of project knowledge. New learnings, lessons learned should be properly documented. Plan and manage project phase closure and transition. You should know the criteria that has to be met before a project is being closed. And the last one is the business environment. You should know, plan and manage project compliance. There are a lot of compliance from the government, regulatory, from HSC, security, and all the rest. You should know how to plan your project to ensure that your projects are conforming, in compliance with the necessary regulations that are applicable to your project. You need to know how to evaluate and deliver project benefits and value. And of course, you need to know how to evaluate and address external business environment changes for impact on scope, and support organizational change. General tips. I must confess, I must tell you that PMP exam is not an easy one. It's not. If somebody tells you it's easy, the person is deceiving you. At times, your knowledge will not help, because basically what this exam is all about is a particular way of managing projects. We manage projects in different ways. depending on the organization that you work with. But this is just a particular way. So this particular way, there are so many other ways. This is just a particular way. So bringing the knowledge of how you used to do it might be counterproductive. All right. So it is expected that you also do some mock exam before you start. You read the project PMBOK at least once. You need to dedicate time to study. While I was preparing for my project, I will say that I spent nothing less than 180 hours because I did 2 courses, all right, to prepare for the exam. 2 courses. Then you need to know the ITTOs. What are ITTOs? These are the inputs, the tools, the techniques, and the outputs of processes. We have 49 processes in PMBOK 6th edition. You should know how, not just to memorize this, but to know what they mean, and in implied questions, how you are able to use them to tackle those questions. Then do not stop studying for an extended period of time. If you set a target by next year March, next year February, I want to do this exam, then you should start preparing. It's not that you will prepare, you will be distracted by something else, you will abandon it for some time, you will start again. There should be a progressive learning curve that will culminate in you finally taking the exam. Then you can make flashcards with definitions about the ITTOs. You can paste them in your office. You can do as you want. So in scheduling the exam, basically there are 2 ways. It's either you go to a center that does it, or you schedule the exam at your own convenience, which I did. I did not. When I wanted to write, I checked the available center. It was all booked for the next 2 months. So I needed to do it in my closet, as it were, office, home, as the case may be. But there are a lot of conditions that has to be met. For instance, if you are doing it at your home, you should not have anything at your back. Your table should be free. You should not have any partition or glass or window in your place. You are not allowed to move out of that room for the 4 hours. Your camera has to be on for the entire 4 hours, and they are going to be monitored. Don't use internet. You need to use a stable internet connection, and not the one from your office where you have a firewall that will not allow you to stream. This happened to me. I had to do it again when I wanted to start. I was unable to check in because I was using my office internet, and there are a lot of firewalls there. They were not seeing me, and I had to get a separate internet network to use. And your system, if there's any the system you are going to use, any a lot of softwares can disturb you from launching your exam. So they will ask you to remove all those softwares. It's preferable to use a system that is clean, that you don't have too much softwares inside. All right, so recommendation for training. I use these 2 trainings which can be gotten from Udemy. It's just a token, very cheap. This particular one by Andrew Ramdayal, this is the link. If you're interested, you can see from Udemy. It's just about 5,500 naira. It has 450 videos. It's encompassing. If you go through this, you are good to go for your exam. And you need to do some exams. Your simulator, you can also get this. Is very cheap also. It's about 3,000 or 4,000 naira. This is the link. You get these courses on Udemy, and you are able to, if you go through this, when you go through this course, you will have a certificate which will have guaranteed your 39 PDU that you will be able to use to do your registration when you are doing your application. All right. So if you are able to take note of all these points and you do your course, you do your practice exams, you should be good to pass the PMP exam at a stand. All right, that will be all for now. Thank you.